Hi guys, and welcome to the first video in our reharmonization series. So our topic today is simple chord substitution. So for us to fully understand how simple chord substitution work, we need to first understand chord function. So let's start with the C major scale, which has the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So we can create chords, and the chords that we can get from the same scale are C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and then we're back to C major 7. Now these 7 distinct chords can be grouped into 3 groups. Now let's look at these groups. The first group is called the tonic family, and it is a group of stable chords that have little sense of forward motion. They don't include the tendency tones, which we will talk about later on. Now these chords, again, you will find at the end of musical phrases, and they are always built on the first scale degree of a major key, which in this case, in the key of C major, that's your C major 7, and then also on the third scale degree, which is your E minor 7, and on the 6th scale degree, in this case, that's your A minor 7. So that is the first group. Now the second group is called the subdominant family, and this has moderate tendency to move ahead, and they also include one of the tendency tones, which is the 4th scale degree of the scale. In this case, we're talking about the F naught in the key of C. Now in the key of C major, these chords will be the D minor 7, which is on the 2nd scale degree, and the F major 7, which is on the 4th scale degree, and lastly the G7 sus4, which is on the 5th scale degree. Now the last group we have is called the dominant family. Now the chords in this group always sound unresolved, and they have a strong tendency towards resolving to any of the tonic group. In the key of C major, the chords are the 5th chord, which is the G7, the 7th chord, which is the B minor 7 flat 5, and also the 5th chord, the sus4, which we played again when we looked at the subdominant family, and that is your G7 sus4. So here is a table of these chords in their groups written in Roman numerals. Now that you understand chord families and their functions, let's take a very simple tune that we're going to add some harmonies just in a moment.
Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Jesus.
Now the chords that I've used here are basically chord 1, and then chord 5, and then back to chord 1, and then lastly chord 4. Now, if we analyze the families of these chords, chord 1 belongs to the tonic family, chord 5 belongs to the dominant family, and then we went back to chord 1, which is part of the tonic family, and then we ended with the 4 chord, which is part of the subdominant family. Now, if I would reharmonize this tune, basically what I would do is to replace some of the chords with another one that has a similar harmonic function. In other words, what I can do is I can replace these chords with another chord from the same family. So let's do again Tino tenda, but now we are replacing some of the chords with other chords from the same family. And here's how it sounds.
Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Jesus.
Now in this version, what I've done is to replace the C7 with the E minor 7 flat 5 because they all come from the same dominant family. And I've also replaced the F major 7 in the 3rd bar with a D minor 7 because they also all belong to the tonic family. Now let's try another version.
Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Tino tenda, Jesus.
Now again, in this version, I've replaced the C7 with the C7 sus4 because they all come from the dominant family. And I've also replaced the F major 7 with the A minor 7 because they all come from the tonic family. And lastly, I replaced the B flat major 7 with the G minor 7 because again, they come from the subdominant family. So in conclusion, if reharmonizing a tune is like painting a car, then simple substitution is like choosing a different shade of the same color. So you can go from blue to indigo or rose to pink. As long as the chords are coming from the same family, most of the times it will work. So I'm going to leave you with the vocal version of the same song, but reharmonized, just using simple substitution only. And I'll see you again in the next video as we take reharmonization to the next level.
Jesus.